Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahushai, Ba'Shem, Rakah Kodash. I want to give double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone who rule well, and salutations of much love to the rest of you sincere Akim, pushing the word in truth and sincerity. This is the Cleric Azar coming at you with another lesson. I am continuing in my lot to bring you my ongoing series from excerpts of Hollywood, This Factory of Perverseness, another observation of predictive programming and how art imitates life and vice versa. Just a reminder, the purpose of my videos is to show correlations. Correlation is an observation of a mutual relationship or connection between two or more things. I use movies to extract or extrapolate a narrative. I'm not glorifying the Hollywood culture or life. I have a wide knowledge of films, whether they be foreign or domestic, and I just use them as an example to bring out those similarities and those correlations. To quote Cecil B. DeMille, the greatest source of material for motion pictures is the Bible. I call this lesson, Believe in the Most High in Yourself. Part 2. Okay, the image I have on display is from a musical I watched in my youth. Of course, being this truth, I reflected on this particular movie. Okay, this movie was released on October 24th, 1978. The title of it is The Wiz, directed by Sidney Lumet. Wow. Let me get right into it. Basically, this is the black version of the so-called black version of the Wizard of Oz. And I remember watching this in kindergarten, and just like my last lesson, my mother really incorporated this lesson for me as a young boy, and it helped me growing up in my life, and I hope this helps out someone as well. Okay, but basically at the in this movie, like I said, it's the black version of the Wizard of Oz. And it's a great musical, but I was having a drive, and I was just playing the DVD in my car. I just remember how much of this song would help me out just when I was in a low point in my life. But let me read some of the lyrics to you. Let's see if I got this here. Bear with me here just a moment. Here we go. Let me read some of these lyrics to you. This is like almost, I want to say Diana Ross sang this, but she sang this several times throughout the film, specifically during the conclusion of the movie. But here, let me read the lyrics to you. Okay, it was written by Charlie Smalls, and like I said, as you can see, it's titled "Believe in Yourself." Okay, it reads: "If you believe within your heart, you'll know that no one can change the path that you must go." Okay, now look at that. If you believe within your heart, now the heart is also your mind. Okay. If you believe within your heart, you'll know. It's also talking about, committing it yourself in your mind before you actually go out to do something. All right. That no one can change the path that you must go. Okay. So that is true. All right. The Most High has directed your steps, like I did in my previous lesson, part 1. Okay. Reading on. Believe what you feel and know you're right, because the time will come around when you say it's yours. Okay, now that's very powerful right there. Sit there and say, the time will come around when you say it's yours. Okay, that's when you finally accomplish what you believed in the beginning. Okay, that's the end goal. Okay, reading on. Believe there's a reason to be. Believe you can make time stand still. You know from the moment you try. If you believe, I know you will. Okay. Believe in yourself right from the start. You see that? Believe in yourself right from the start. That's that commitment in the mind. Setting off on the journey to know you're going from one destination or one origination to the destination. Okay. Point A to point B. All right. Believe in yourself right from the start. You'll have brains. You'll have a heart. You'll have courage. Now, I was talking about, of course, the Scarecrow, Tin Man, and the Cowardly Lion. But it's also to Joachim as well, okay? Having the thoughts in your mind as well as the courage to set through, okay? Believe in yourself right from the start. You'll have brains, you'll have a heart, you'll have courage to last your whole life through. If you believe in yourself, if you believe in yourself, if you believe in yourself as I believe in you. Very powerful song, okay? You don't have songs nowadays that really have this deep meaning like they had back in the day, okay? And just I've had to remind myself about, not fading, and maybe I've gotten emotional throughout this journey myself, all right? And just I have to learn how to just stand fast, okay? But let's go into the book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 4. I'm going to bounce around in it. But let's start at verse 1. 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 1. For it reads, Therefore, seeing we have this ministry, as we have received mercy, we faint not. Okay, so we receive mercy from the Heavenly Father, and being in this ministry, we're not fainting. We're staying the course. Okay, and of course it gets trouble. It's hard. It's what's the saying? It's easier said than done. Okay, but not to despair. Let's skip down to verse 8. 2 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 8, and reads, "We are troubled on every side, yet not distressed. We are perplexed, but not in despair." Okay? And I love how when you continue to read on, because if you skip down to verse 16, it repeats what verse 1 has said about not fainting. All right? Verse 16 reads, "For which cause we faint not, but through our outward man perish, yet the inward man is renewed day by day." Now it's talking about the flesh versus the actual spirit, because of course this flesh is not going to last long. Okay, it's made to deteriorate, but the spirit can be strengthened day by day. Specifically, if you're in this word and this truth constantly. Okay, so it strengthens you and renews you. Okay, but it also you have to come from prayer and fasting and so forth. But believing in actually the things that you're praying for, so that you would receive them. Okay, Yahushua spoke of this in Mark chapter 11 verse 24. Let me bring it out. Mark chapter 11 verse 24 for reads, "Therefore I say unto you, what things soever ye desire, when ye pray, believe that ye receive them, and ye shall have them." Okay, so just sticking to what we more or less your needs and your wants. Okay, not getting I'm not to say you're over righteous. I don't know the word I'm trying to look for. I can't really think of it now. But just trying to stay realistic in the frame of what this truth is all about. Okay, because we're one. Of course, you need certain things in life to get you through, but the Most High is only going to give you what you really need anyway. Okay, but all things are possible through the Most High. All right, and specifically through these particular times that are going to be happening in Jacob's trouble, we're going to need these prayers to be answered. Okay, let's go into Mark chapter 9, verse 23. Mark chapter 9, verse 23, and it reads, "Yahushua said unto him, If thou canst believe, all things are possible to him that believeth." Now, I like how the New Living Translation reads. It says, "What do you mean if I can?" Yahushua asked. "Anything is possible if a person believes." Okay? All right, talking about how, whatsoever your desire is, when you pray, believe that you're going to receive it. Okay? All right. Be very strong in your praying. Okay? Let's go into let me also say this too as well. We got to trust in the Heavenly Father. All right, because just like in my last lesson, I was talking about how the Most High spoke that word in the beginning, and everything that He has spoken has come to pass, is coming to pass, and will come to pass. Okay, so we have to trust in that. And the Most High has even raised His own Son from the dead. And He's also raise other people from the dead as well. But in the future, that's going to still happen again. Okay, let's read 2 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 9. 2 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 9, it reads, "But we had the sentence of death in ourselves, that we should not trust in ourselves, but in the Most High, which raises the dead." Now, I want to get out the New Living Translation, for it reads, "In fact, we expected to die, but as a result, we stopped relying on ourselves and learned to rely on the Heavenly Father, who raises the dead." You see that? Okay, and that's very important, all right, because like I said in my last lesson, there are going to be some that don't taste of death, and there's going to be some that are going to be executed for the name of the Heavenly Father. All right, they're not going to take the mark of the beast, and they're going to get punished for it. All right, because they're going against this particular society, and they're not going to worship the image of Baal. Okay, and that's ultimately what it is. Okay, but this is, we got to have the full 100%, 150 to 200%, if you're more than that, to trust in the Heavenly Father. Let me go into Romans chapter 12, verse 3. Romans chapter 12, verse 3, and it reads, For I say through the grace given unto me, to every man that is among you, not to think of himself more highly than he ought to think, but to think soberly, according to the Most High have dealt every man the measure of faith. So every man has a certain measurement of faith or belief. It's not going to be all the same. It's all going to be different. Let me read the NLT version. "Because of the privilege and the authority the Heavenly Father has given me, I give each of you this warning. Don't think you are better than you really are. Be honest in your evaluation of yourselves, measuring yourselves by the faith the Heavenly Father has given us. Okay? I liked how that reads there. It's powerful. But I'm going to end it on this. I always like to end my videos on a good note, some type of silver lining. There is light at the end of the tunnel. So in other words, there is a happy ending. I'm going to end it the same way I ended the last lesson with John 3:16. One more time again, because it's not what these harlot houses that we call churches, they don't bring it out correctly. It's not talking about the whole world. It's talking about the world for the Israelites. John 3:16. I'm going to read all the way down through verse 17. Verse 16, it reads, For the Most High so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. For the Most High sent not his Son into the world to condemn the world, but that the world through him might be saved. And hey, Yahushua was the ultimate sacrifice, and that sacrifice was only for the elect of Israel and ultimately the nation of Israel. Okay, and there's all lessons that are out there that could back that up, and scriptures back that up as well. Okay, well, this song has helped me out throughout the time. Every now and then I kind of sing this to myself to get me through the day. All right, because I love that particular part where it says, the time will come around when you say it's yours. And that's what the elected are going to say when they get the crown, and they get to be joint heirs with Yahushua Mashiach in the kingdom of heaven. Okay, it's yours. Well, I just wanted to share that. Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. I want to give all praises to Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, who gives me the strength and the spirit to continue to strive and endure in these last days. Shalom to the hopeful elect, and on to the next video.